That's probably one of the places that I don't really find anymore. Otherwise, he didn't let your baby.
Hey y'all, this is Billy from Perma Pastures Farm, but I'm not at Perma Pastures Farm. And anybody knows right now you're seeing something very rare. You see the permaculture pimp daddy with the pimp daddy of pastures, right? Greg Judy himself, he's tuckered out, y'all, but he's been gracious enough to come out here, let me talk to him for a little bit. But right off the bat, y'all, if you don't know the work he's doing and the impact he's had on my life, go check out some of the podcasts we've already done. And I'm going to quit talking for a second, and I'm just going to ask Greg what on earth he's doing out here. You know, you got all these folks out here, 130 some people, I guess, doing a class.
Yep.
And
it's a beginning grazer school.
Yep.
So we had an advanced grazing school 2 weeks ago, and this is for people that are just getting started. They've got a piece of ground. Maybe they don't have any livestock, and they don't really know what to do to start out. And so this is what we put on the beginning grazer school to save people from making a ton of mistakes. Because they can be costly mistakes and take you out of the farming business.
Well, speaking of that business right now, we got what Joel Salatin calls a homesteading tsunami going on right now, and I'm sure you're aware of it.
Yep.
Record numbers getting into this space right now, and also record numbers making some colossal mistakes. What do you think some of those biggest mistakes are, folks? And this is a rhetorical question because I got to answer myself. What do you think one of the chief mistakes that people are making right now that are jumping into this game, into whether it's cattle, chickens, goats, whatever? What do you think's the biggest thing?
Probably some of the biggest mistakes that people can make is to just go out and buy animals that are not good animals. They're just going and buying a bunch of animals, throw them on the property. Maybe they don't have good fence. Maybe they don't have good water. They don't have any way to move the animals. Folks, you got to have control of your animals. And so if you don't have good fence, how are you going to control them? You bring them in, you put them on your farm mat, they eat the whole thing off down to the ground, and they say, you know, this grazing thing doesn't
Absolutely.
work. It doesn't work. Well, no, not when you do it that way. And, you know, I've turned that process I just described. It's the Columbus method. You turn them out in spring, you discover them in the fall. That doesn't work here. You've got to use management. You've got to control them where they're at. It helps to have good animals, what we call grass genetic type animals that are broke to hot wire. They're not going to try and kill you.
There is that.
And they're not packing some disease. So don't go to your local sale barn and just buy whatever's there. Buy them from a reputable source that is raising animals the way that you want them to raise.
And here's a reputable source right here. Greg, also with all these new people getting into this space right now, are you seeing an issue with people maybe, okay, let's just get right to it. There's a fear component going on right now. Everybody's seeing inflation going through the roof.
Yep.
They see all these things, you know, going, what seems to be spiraling out of control right now.
Yep.
Are you seeing an issue with people maybe getting too many before, or do you suggest that they master at least one before they move on?
Yes, I see this all the time. I go into a farm for a consult, and they've got 3 or 4 different species. They're all trying to get, you know, the pigs, the chickens, the cattle, the sheep, and it's all just a wreck. It's just a wreck. And so my recommendation is, which one of those species do you like the best? Is it chickens? If it's chickens, knock it out of the park. Learn how to do chickens and then bring on the beef cattle. Maybe it's beef cattle. Well, bring on the beef cows, learn all the nuances it takes to run beef cattle correctly, and then maybe you want to try pasture pigs. That's fine, but to start out and bring it all on at once, it's a wreck.
Yeah.
There's too much pressure on you.
Well, that's a fact. But as far as where people should start, I've highly recommended, anybody that's been on this channel knows that I've highly recommended a series of books, 3 of which he's written. And you've got one that just recently came out not long ago, and we talked about it briefly in the podcast. I didn't really go into too much in the podcast. We had some technical difficulties and things didn't go exactly the way I wanted. I'm rereading your second book right now. And by the way, before I ask the question, maybe tell them where they can get this book that benefits you most so they don't necessarily want to go to Amazon, right?
No. Come to our website, greenpasturesfarm.net. Buy a book from us, you'll get a signed autographed copy.
That's right.
You don't get that from Amazon.
Well, as far as these books, y'all, a lot of what you heard me do, I'm just elated because I'm now getting the opportunity to get three-dimensional understanding of what I've only ever seen on his YouTube channel and also in the books. So I'm hoping to put all that trifecta to work, even though we've already been taking a number of things that Greg has already taught us and really doing a lot with it, even when it comes down to buying property. Maybe a little bit differently than Greg, but it was his idea that spurred it all on. I'm in the middle of rereading your second book right now. Actually, I've just finished it last night.
Yep.
Do you have a book that they should start with?
Yeah, I think, you know, what's the biggest cost of raising livestock? Land. You got to have access to land, whether you're buying it or you're leasing it. In my first book called No Risk Ranching, Custom Grazing on Leased Land. And so we started leasing land back in 1999 was our first lease. And today we've got 19 farms. They're all within 5 miles of our house. So we've been able to secure these idle land leases that nobody else wanted or wanted to take care of. And now we're running cattle and sheep on those enterprises. Folks, the thing about leasing land is it preserves your equity to buy livestock. You need to buy livestock because those livestock are going to have babies, okay? They're going to eat this grass that you and I can eat and we'll fall over. But they can eat the same grass and put on a valuable protein in this form of a calf. They're also getting pregnant again to raise another calf for the next year, and they're doing it from grass. There's no diesel engine belching, plowing the soil. We keep the soil covered. The animals are our machines. They got 4 feet. They're putting kinetic energy into the ground. Every time they walk, they poop and peeing. They're a fertilizing machine.
So I guess you're not a big fan of tractors.
No, not really.
Read his book and you'll find out all the reasons why. So honestly, the first book, second book, I mean, was fantastic. And this third one I really love because you really went into your inspirations. And you talked a lot in the beginning about Ian from South Africa.
Ian Mitchell-Innes, yep. Ian Mitchell-Innes is a high-density, holistic type grazer in South Africa. And he's done more to change the wheat ranch than anybody. I mean, he runs 14,000 acres over there. He's got 6,000 cows in one herd. He's moving those cows around that landscape. And it looks a lot like the bison in the prairie. So you have this large herd of ruminants moving around the landscape, defecating, urinating, trampling, and they move on. That's what we're doing. We're doing the same thing with a smaller herd, of course. But you know what I'm excited about? I'm excited about seeing young people like this young lady here.
Yeah, come on over here.
Come on over here.
Come on over here.
Yes, Izzy, get over here.
Yeah.
This is what I'm excited about.
Yeah, let's get her into
Come
the
on,
frame.
get up here.
Yeah.
She's getting ready to go into college, and so we were educating her a while ago about some of the things to be thinking about before you make that plunge. But there's a lot of young people here at this conference, and I'm enthused about that because this is the next generation. Without people like Izzy, we don't have the next farmers coming on.
Yeah, I think it was pretty awesome that, she and her dad actually came up, asked both of us, hey, should you go off to college? If this is the life you want, I don't think it's necessary. I don't know that you have to incur the expense, and I think to a certain extent, I think maybe you might have agreed a little bit.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Learn how to do this, get an internship, working for somebody that's actually doing it. I tell people when our interns come to our farm, they're going to Judy University. But when they leave, they don't have a student loan.
There you go.
And we find them a job as the ranch manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So here it is. You get a PhD at Judy University, and over at mine, you're going to get a PhD in pimpology, where permaculture is my passion. That's what it stands for. Hey, so where can everybody find you, Greg?
Our website's greenpasturesfarm.net, and then my YouTube channel is Greg Judy Regenerative Ranch. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to reach out to Greg in the future, y'all. We're going to do hopefully more interviews if he can swing it. Right now, I know he's really busy. But if you want to check out the ballinest pimpcast out there, podcast, it's called the Permaculture Pimpcast, where PIMP stands for Permaculture is my passion. But we do permaculture a different way, taking tools that we learned from this great man over here and a number of others and put it all under that umbrella we call permaculture. So sorry to put you on the spot, young lady, but anyway, she's the future, y'all. So until next time, this is Billy, not at Perma Pastures Farm. I'm down here at Green Pastures Farm with one of my heroes in this space, Greg Judy. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.